Hello and welcome to this Norbord, my cabinet guide video on how to assemble a 1000mm bridging unit from the IT range. It's always best to assemble your unit on the cardboard box. That way you can protect the panels. Okay, in the pack you have your top and base panel, your left and right side panel. This is my left, this is my right. You determine that by putting the two panels groove to groove. And your back panel. Your back panel has two cutouts in them. This indicates that this is the top of your back panel. I'll put that to one side for the moment. In each box there is an assembly guide. Please take the time to read this, as there is useful information on here that will help you to build your unit. It also tells you what items are in the box and the minimum tools required to get the job done. Open up your fixing bag. In your fixing kit you have your wall hanging brackets and your wall plates, your 3 hinge plates and your 3 hinges, 8 cams, 8 metal dowels, 8 wooden dowels, 4 30mm screws and 6 15mm screws. You have 2 separate gas arms. They come in their own bags. This is the gas arm and these are the fittings. You also have 2 door buffers. Now these are the brown smoves and the carriages with the cover plates and screws. Now the end panels aren't handed. I've laid them out, so this is my left hand one and this is my right hand one, which means I'm going to use the pre-marked holes at the top of my unit to fix my wall hanging brackets to. So I'll quickly drill those. Please note they're pre-marked, they're not pre-drilled. And clean off the mess. Taking 2 of the 30mm screws. You can use a cordless screwdriver to put the fittings in on your unit, but we would recommend a handheld screwdriver, because that way when you're putting the fittings in you can make sure you don't over tighten them. The hook should always be towards the back of the unit. So that's my 2 wall hanging brackets fitted. Next thing I'm going to do is fit my metal dowels into the 5mm holes that are drilled in my unit. There is 4 per side panel. The metal dowel has a red sleeve. There are 2 reasons for this. The first is when you're turning it with a screwdriver, you can hold on to it to make sure that it goes squarely into your panel. And the second is that it means that when you insert your other panel into it, it means that it's a lot tighter joint. The metal cam has 2 arrows. There is a directional arrow, and this arrow here should always line up with the hole that's in the panel you're putting it in. The way the cam and the dowel work together is when you actually put your panels together, it's like this, and what you do, you turn the cam and it locks the 2 panels together. So you turn the cam and it all pulls it nice and tight together. Don't over tighten them because you could damage the panel. And do the same for the left hand end. Now putting my 8 wooden dowels in, put them into position, and then taking a hammer, lightly tap this until the sound changes. That's in far enough. Okay. So I now position my top panel, and I'm going to fit my hinge plates at this point because it just makes it easier for yourself. When you fit your hinge plate, make sure this groove is towards the front of the unit and this screw is towards the back of the unit. And you fix them in here, like this. Don't over tighten the screws. Repeat for the other two. Okay, so that's my hinge plates into position. I'm now going to start building my unit up. I'm now going to fit my cams into the holes in the top and bottom panels. There is 2 arrows on the cams. This is the arrow that needs to be pointing to the raw chipboard edge, and this arrow is the directional arrow that you use for tightening it up. So, push. Now this is my top panel because it's got my hinges on. So I'm actually going to fit that now, and I'm going to put it to the left-hand side panel, making sure that its groove is towards the groove. So that goes in there like this. Pull down, and then turn in the cam to tighten it up. Let's lock that into position. Repeat for the base. Insert the cams first. And again, groove to groove. Inserting my back panel now, ensuring that the cutouts are towards the top of the unit. Slide it into position. And lastly, put your right hand side onto the unit. Tighten the cams up. Okay. So, and that's the unit assembled. I'm now going to fit my hinges to my door. So taking your hinge, place it into the pre-drilled hole in your door, like so. And then using the 15mm screws provided, fix the hinges into position. Normally the unit would be fitted to the wall, but I'm going to be showing you how to do the door and the door stays on the desk. In your door stay pack, you have 3 fixing plates. You do not need to use this one. In the unit there are pre-marked holes here and here. They're also repeated over the other end. So just get your drill, give it a quick pilot hole. Using the screws provided, fix my plate to the left hand side panel. Repeat for the other end. Using the holes pre-marked in your door, you fit your second gas stay fixing plate. And you repeat for the other end. And repeat for the other end of the door. So before we fit the door, the last thing to do is to fit the door buffers. You have 2 of these, that's the door buffer carriages. And you need to fix these to the unit before you insert the brown smoves. On each of the carriages there is a lip. This lip goes around the front of your side panel. Then if you draw a circle where the screws are going to go, remove it and then pre-drill with your drill. Using the screws provided, fix it into position. So I can now insert my brown smove and then put the cover plate on that is provided, like that. Repeat for the other side. I'm going to tip this unit onto its back to show you how to fit the hinges. Don't forget, normally this unit would be fitted to the wall when you're doing this part. And taking my door, making sure that this groove goes round the screw. I'm going to insert my hinge. One, two. So tightening the joining screws up on all three hinges. I'm now going to fit the gas stays. They're fitted with the narrow part towards the unit, so it clips on like that, and then like that. Repeat for the other end. Now, at this point, you can tighten up your screws. And the same on this side. So my unit's fitted to the wall, my door's fitted, my gas struts are fitted. That's closed. And that's opened.